Welcome to the Big Green Ace Pick 6. NFL is freaking back. Let's go, Ace.
Let's go! NFL, we're back, boys. Love it. NFL is back, boys. We got Saturday and Sunday football weekends back again. All you guys that are on fantasy, on the bets, sports bets, it's definitely good when the weekend comes around. NFL's here, a lot of exciting moves in the off seasons. It should be an interesting season. You got Big Ree and Ace here to give you guys all the picks. Make that cash. All right, here we go, boys. I'm gonna start you guys off. We got Tennessee at the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are a 5.5-point favorite. Tennessee 9-7 last season. And I think this is going to be a breakout season for Tennessee. I think they're going to go 11-5. I really like their roster. I like their team. I think, Mariota, he's on a contract year this year, so he's going to perform. Last year, they kind of had a weird dynamic switching between Gabbert and Mariota. Gabbert's not on the team anymore. They got a backup in Tannehill. That's a good backup, but I think Mariota is going to get the bulk of the load here, and I think he's going to impress. He wants to get a big contract. I think he's going to play well. Running back Derrick Henry came out as last year. Last 4 games looked really good, and I think he's going to continue with that. They got a stud wide receiver in Corey Davis. So, I think they're the real deal. I really like Tennessee. Then we got Cleveland 7-8-1. They're a super hyped team. Everybody's talking about, this is a sleeper Super Bowl pick. These guys are going to make the playoffs. And everyone's excited. They got Odell Beckham. They signed Kareem Hunt. All that crap. Great. I like the Browns. No joke. I like the Browns. I've been a Browns fan. I like a lot of teams. But let's not get too excited here. When's the last time these guys have made the playoffs? They were 0-16 just 2 seasons ago, and everyone's like, these guys are a favorite to make the Super Bowl. My ass, they're not a favorite. Everybody calm down. Baker Mayfield looked good last year. He did look good. I think he had 27 TDs, 14 interceptions. He looked solid, but just everybody relax there with Cleveland Browns. We'll see what happens. But look, this is an easy one here. Tennessee is the better team right now. They probably should win this game. If they don't, they're covering the 5.5 all day. This is an easy one. Take Tennessee plus 5.5. Game 2, we got Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. The Jets are a 3-point favorite here. Buffalo 6-10 last season. They are being led by quarterback Josh Allen. He had a mediocre season last year, showed some flashes. I think he definitely had more interceptions than touchdowns. He can run the ball. He's shown that. I think he had over 100 yards twice. So he had like 600 yards rushing, so he can run. But look, it's the same issue that plagued this guy in college. He's about a 52 or 53% completion rate, and so he's an athlete, but as a quarterback in the NFL, that's a whole different story. They lost running back LaShawn McCoy, which I like McCoy. I think that was a huge pickup for Kansas City. They did draft stud DT Ed Oliver out of Houston, so that should help their defense. Like I said, they'll have a decent defense, but this team is still a mess. Not excited about them, and I think they're going to have a lot of turnovers. And the Jets, the Jets create turnovers here, so I like the Jets here. Let's talk about the Jets. 4-12 last season. Huge off-season signing of Le'Veon Bell. Bell, I think, has something to prove. He's going to come out and he's going to be a productive back for them and definitely take the load off of Sam Darnold, so that's really going to help him out. Then they drafted defensive tackle Williams out of Alabama. That guy's a beast, and to help the defense that much better. Quarterback Sam Darnold, 3rd pick overall last year, showed flashes last year. He wasn't great, but he showed flashes. But I think, like I said, the addition of Bell is going to help him out. Strong defense and running game will lead the Jets. Easy one here. Buffalo's not a good team. Don't get fooled. Take the Jets -3. Game 3, we got Cincinnati at Seattle. Seattle's a 9.5-point favorite. Cincinnati was 6-10 last season. Started the season off 4-1, ended 2-9. They will be without wide receiver Green, AJ Green, so that's a big deal. I think I just think they don't have enough weapons. Yeah, they have running back Joe Mixon, and he looked pretty good last season, but that's not going to be enough. And I think they're in a rebuild mode. I mean, they don't want to admit it. They're like, oh, we're trying to turn it around, but they're in a rebuild mode. I mean, they got Andy Dalton. He's all right. He's just a serviceable QB, but he's not taking you to the Super Bowl, that's for sure. And I think eventually, maybe at some point, they're going to realize they got to ship him out and just start the rebuild like Miami's realized. Then we got Seattle, who's 10-6. Last season, they lost 24-22 to Dallas in the wild card round. And then, the big thing about Seattle, look at their QB, Russell Wilson. Huge MVP type season last year. 35 TDs, 7 interceptions. He's the real deal. I got a lot of confidence in Russell Wilson. Strong running game duo of Chris Carson and Rashad Penny. Obviously, they got some questions at wide receiver with the loss of Doug Baldwin. I think they drafted, the wide receiver, Metcalf. That guy's a beast, but we'll see how he translates to the NFL. But I think Russell Wilson will get it done with whoever's around there at the wide receiver. Defense got a huge boost with the trade for Jadeveon Clowney. Just fleeced the Texans for Clowney. I don't know what happened. You look at the deal, the details of that deal, they just got fleeced. I don't know what Houston was thinking there, but I think that was a huge pickup for Seattle. This is an easy one, boys. Don't get fooled. Don't think too much. Seattle's going to destroy Cincy here. Take Seattle minus 9.5. Big Ree, let's go.
All right, the first game I'm starting out was the 49ers at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The current spread is Bucks -1. We got the 49ers coming off a terrible season, a lot of injuries. Jimmy Garoppolo went down, and then Jarrett McKinnon also went down for the season, and a lot of injuries. I mean, the only thing that went bright for them last year was George Kittle. They did make a lot of moves in the offseason, signing Tevin Coleman. I think he's going to be a good fit as Jarrett McKinnon went down again for the season. They drafted Nick Bosa and wide receiver Deebo Samuel. And, of course, getting Jimmy Garoppolo back is going to be huge. Then we got the Bucks, who also had a bad season. They released Gerald McCoy and signed Ndamukong Suh, which I think kind of equals out. On offense, they have pretty good, but Jameis Winston is going to have a huge year. I'm all in on Winston. They got Mike Evans and Chris Goodwin, and then O.J. Howard, Peyton Barber, and, of course, Ronald Jones. Both teams on offense are really good, and both teams are really bad on defense. So I'm going to give the edge to the home team, and I'm going to take the Bucks -1. The next game I got is the Ravens at the Dolphins. The current spread is Ravens -7. We got the Ravens coming off a season where they finally moved on from Joe Flacco and passed the torch to Lamar Jackson. They did let some key players go on defense, Darius Smith and C.J. Mosley, but they added Earl Thomas, some additions on offense, bringing in Mark Ingram. The Dolphins, I mean, this team is just tanking, man. They just traded away Larry Tunsil and Kenny Stills to the Texans and Kiko Alonso to the Saints. I mean, they did add Josh Rosen, but the guy's not even starting this week. So I'm taking the Ravens -7. That's my lock of the week. The last game I got is the Redskins at the Eagles. The current spread is 9.5. Redskins are coming off a terrible season after the Alex Smith injury. They did draft Dwayne Haskins, but he's not even starting. Case Keenum is who they traded for. Eagles coming off a season where they lost in the divisional round to the Saints. They added 2 running backs, Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders, who they drafted out of Penn State. They got Deshaun Jackson also. This is going to be a blowout. I'm taking the Eagles -9.5. I hope they don't get backdoored.
All right, boys, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment in the box. We pay attention to the comments. Love hearing from our viewers, and good luck.